And welcome back to the Daily Wrap. Republicans are pushing full steam ahead with their effort to defund Planned Parenthood. This, of course, after the release of some highly disturbing videos. Now, on the videos, Planned Parenthood medical personnel are seen discussing the cost of supplying aborted fetal tissue for medical research. Even Hillary Clinton has weighed in, saying she's disturbed by the videos. As a result, an effort is now underway in the United States Senate to fully defund Planned Parenthood. An effort that, if successful, would result in the loss of an excess of $500 million every year, which is given to Planned Parenthood by the taxpayers. While the Senate effort is being driven by Republicans, Kentucky Senator and 2016 hopeful Rand Paul says he might even be able to get a few Democrats on board.
I think there are some pro-choice Democrats. There are many pro-choice Americans who are horrified by this because they don't think of abortion as turning the baby around and harvesting baby parts and showing kidneys and livers and lungs and hearts that are then being resold. The gruesomeness of this cannot be overstated.
Joe Concha, could this actually happen? Could we actually see the full defunding of Planned Parenthood?
I think Rand Paul is right in where he says Democrats could jump on board because now they have the green light from Hillary Clinton, who even says...
Well, Hillary Clinton said she was disturbed by what she saw. There's a long stretch between I'm disturbed by what I saw to let's fully defund Planned Parenthood.
She never, when these videos first came out, July 23rd, she wouldn't even, she said this is a coordinated attack against Planned Parenthood. It's been going on for years, and now she's changed that position somewhat because how could you not after seeing at least the third video?
Heather, is this the next shot in the war against women?
No, it's absolutely ridiculous. You know, I think Rand Paul is correct in that it's not a Democrat or a Republican thing. It's not even a pro-choice or a pro-life thing. 38% of people, according to a Vox poll, are neither pro-choice nor pro-life. It is a difficult issue, and when you start talking about moving the bodies to get parts, it's like that Kermit Gosnell trial that happened, where it is so disgusting that even people who consider themselves pro-choice have a problem with it.
It's not pro-life or pro-choice. I'm sorry to jump in. What are they?
Well, yeah.
Those people, it depends on the situation. It depends, is it rape? Is it a certain point in the
day? They're pro-life in some instances, pro-choice in some instances.
They have a difficult time putting themselves into black and white. It's a gray area.
Noah, what about, let's say this actually happens, what about those rural areas where Planned Parenthood is all that's available to women needing to get preventative care, mammograms, all these things that Planned Parenthood services? I mean, abortion, at least they say, abortion is only 3% of the services provided by Planned Parenthood.
I would say that the ultimatum that would be presented to Planned Parenthood in that instance is that you stop providing abortion services if you want to maintain federal subsidies. And then Planned Parenthood would be forced to do that.
Do you believe that they separate it or not? I mean, the way it's supposed to work
money is fungible.
Planned Parenthood is supposed to never use a taxpayer dollar to fund abortion.
Money is fungible. There's no way for us to know whether or not they are and will forever be putting this in a lockbox that doesn't get touched. There's no way to determine that. So you would say to Planned Parenthood that you cease to provide abortion services, at which point local providers would be able to provide that service and you pay for it. And there are communities that don't want that, like Mississippi, which has very limited access to abortions, and that's a whole other issue. But it's just simply improper and immoral to be providing taxpayer subsidies for an organization that provides this service.
So another 2016 contender, Dr. Ben Carson, a retired pediatric neurosurgeon, is also weighing in on these videos.
I have a hard time believing that a lot of Democrats and progressives can actually just look at this and say, ho hum, it's just a clump of cells. And interestingly enough, you know, that's the excuse that they give for, you know, abortion. It's a clump of cells. It's not really a human being. If it's not a human being, then why are you harvesting organs from it?
Now, Joe, on the show yesterday, I pointed out that while I've always been supportive of Planned Parenthood, I do think an investigation is in order here, a Justice Department investigation. What I don't understand is why the Senate is so quickly moving forward. I believe a vote may happen as soon as next Monday to defund the organization before there's been an investigation. Because don't we even care anymore about that?
The momentum is there from a PR perspective.
From a PR perspective.
Right, right. And by the way, as far as this group that taped all these videos, they are executing this as well as you can imagine. They are spacing out the releases of the videos. Once the last video runs out of legs, they have another one. And there will be more and more, Rick. That
so
I can
they
guarantee
say. They say there's another 20 or so yet to come.
And I think that the idea of defunding it and while they do the investigation is attractive to a lot of people. People don't want this type of thing to continue. And as these tapes come out, I think that the drive will be even greater. And our
Do you
senators
support the idea of defunding it?
I support the idea of defunding it while an investigation goes on, sure.
Well, but then what you effectively you shut it down because investigations take a long time. You can't shut down every Planned Parenthood and hope that they're ever going to reopen.
They don't have to take as long as they do. Perhaps this will
but
put a little fire
but
under.
You know that it won't because the
well,
Republicans are going to control the investigation.
Yeah, but I don't think that people are necessarily looking to shut down Planned Parenthood. I think people are looking to see what is going wrong.
Shutting it down.
But Rick, there's problems there. There are problems in these tapes. There's illegalities.
Well, you don't know that. There may be illegalities.
If they're manipulating the body.
So if they are, there may be illegalities. I acknowledge that there's a need for investigation. But Noah, how do you shut down a place that so many women depend upon, not for abortion services, but for key medical services, while you take the next 2 years? I mean, it'll never reopen if it's shut down. Would you agree?
Well, I'm going back to my original point, which is we're not shutting this down. You're shutting yourself down in the event that you refuse to comply with the law. If there was no profit motive involved here, we wouldn't be talking about individuals maximizing profit. It's literally what they're saying. They're saying we can maximize our returns if we do it this way.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I can certainly make the argument, you may be right, but I can make the argument for why they're trying to maximize getting as much of their cost back as possible.
That's not reimbursement. We're not talking about reimbursement.
How do you know we're not?
talking about this. They're not talking about losing money on this. They're talking about maximizing the potential gain at the end of the rainbow here.
I have a feeling we're going to keep talking about this for a while. So we do want to hear your thoughts on Planned Parenthood. We all certainly have a couple. To do that, you can go to newsmaxtv.com/comments. Let us know what you think. As you know, we've been reading comments on the air and will no doubt read yours. Coming up, the Boy Scouts lifted their ban on gay troop leaders, but not everyone is happy about it. Stay with us.